Tengah, the word alone, right, makes most of the property buyers in Singapore roll their eyes. Why? Too ulu lah. Nothing there, what? Why would I buy in the middle of like nowhere? But here's the thing, right? Because that's what a lot of people say about Punggol in 2001, about Sengkang in 1999, about Jurong East before Jayden hits 2,500 PSF. So today, right, I'm going to break down Singapore's most controversial new launch, Tengah Garden Residences, the first private mixed-use condominium in Singapore's 24th HDB town. 863 units, 3 heavyweight developers sitting right on top of Hong Kah MRT. So with a 3,000 square meters like a commercial podium right at your doorsteps, right, I'm going to show you the developer math, the supply track, the resale substitution test, the best stack, the quantum leap, and also my exact execution plan. So by the end of this video, right, you will know whether this is a buy, wait, or avoid. So let's get into it. Stay to the end. I will review the one stack most agents won't tell you to avoid. Section 1, the macro thesis. So the URA, master plan, and district transformation. So let me set the stage. In 2016, right, the Singapore government announced Tengah as the 24th HDB town. So the first new town since Punggol in the 1990s lah. So this isn't just another housing estate. It's actually designed to be what they call a smart forest town, 700 hectares of integrating nature with urban living lah. The town is divided into 5 districts. What we call the Plantation, Garden Park, Brickland, and also Forest Hill. Tengah Garden Residences sits in the Garden District, the premium heart of the entire town. Why this matter for your money? Okay, here are actually 4 catalysts that actually make this launch different from any other OCR project. Catalyst number 1, first mover advantage. So history shows that the first private development in Greenfield Town captures the steepest appreciation. Watertown in Punggol, J Gateway in Jurong East. These are the private projects that sets the benchmark. So every future GLS they will most likely price above Tengah Garden Residences. Catalyst number 2, the ACS Primary bomb. So Anglo-Chinese school is confirmed to relocate to Tengah by 2030. So this single announcement fundamentally changed the demographic and the destiny of this estate. Why? Because parents will pay emotional premium to secure a 1 km address. So this is what you call the school effect on steroid. On steroid. So catalyst number 3, the 30,000 BTO exit liquidity pool. The Tengah master plan includes approximately 30,000 BTO units. That's a massive wave of launch between 2018 to 2021. Around COVID period. Their MOP also will complete their 5 years MOP between 2028 to 2030. So that's actually a tsunami of HDB upgraders flush with capital gains looking to upgrade within Tengah. So your future buyer pool is literally being manufactured by the government right now. So catalyst number 4, Jurong Region Line. Singapore's 7th MRT line that puts Hong Kah Station right at your doorstep. Direct connection to Jurong East, Boon Lay, NTU and the future Jurong Lake District. So Singapore's second CBD with 100,000+ jobs. So no more ulu argument when you are just 4 stops away from Gem lah. Oh, no more already. And also, to back this up with hard data, look at the URA property price index. Okay, you take a look at it. The non-landed private residential property price index have been on the relentless upwards trajectory So we can see from 1.88.6 in Q1 2023 to 209 in Q1 2026. So that's a 0.89% in quarter on quarter in Q3 2025, and also a 5.08% on a year on year. So the macro tailwind is firmly behind the new launch pricing. So take away, property prices are not coming down. Every quarter you wait, you are paying more. The index already support the fair valuation at around 2006 PSM really. Can be higher. So land bid versus neighbor, did they overpay or not? So let's talk about money. The Hong Leong, the Coco Land, and the CSC land won this site for $675 million. So that's 821 per square foot per plot ratio. So here's the math. Land cost 821 PSF PPR. Construction cost 450 to 500 PSF. Then after that, we have the soft cost, which is around 150 to 200 PSF. And also break even, we are looking at 1,421 to 1,521 PSF. So you add a standard 15 to 20%, like I said, can be higher sometimes. We will get a fair value of around 1,634 PSF to like 1,825 PSF under the old gross floor area rules lah. But this is critical lah, because the URA, right, gross floor area harmonization rules, right, implemented in the late 2023, right, really changed the game. Developers now can no longer charge you for the thick AC ledges, void spaces, or planter box, right. The total sellable area shrinks to 5 to 8%, which pushes the PSF numbers up and to maintain the same absolute profit. So the adjusted value, right, is around like 1,900 to 2,100 PSF. The indicated launch pricing average about 2,006 PSF is actually right in the, I would say, the sweet spot lah. So the developer are actually pricing at the fair market value, okay, and not really gorging lah. So that's actually a good sign if they price at this price. So how does the land bid right compares? Okay, let's take a look. So we compare to Copen Grand, right, land at 603 PSF PPR and Nova Place at 703 PSF PPR. Tengah Garden Residences is higher, but remember, this is private, not EC. No MLP restrictions, no income ceiling, no foreign buyer restrictions. So this is a 600 to 700 PSF premium over EC. Is historically justified lah for these private developments. So let me show you, right, how Tengah Garden stacks up against every comparable in this area. Okay, let's take a look. This chart actually tells you the whole story. At 2006 PSF, Tengah Garden sits below the Ori at 2,424 and Norwood Grand at 2,070. But it commands a 32 to 101% premium over the surrounding resale condos. So the break-even line at 1,521 PSF, right, shows, right, how much margin the developers have built, right. And also the land cost at 821 PSF, right, confirms that this is actually fundamentally well priced. Resale buyers entering at 997 to 1517 PSF still have significantly upside. New launch buyers gets to a brand new product with like GL plus ACS and plus mixed use at a fair premium. Moving on to the next section. Section 3. Supply glut reality check. So who survives what we call the rental war? This is where a lot of YouTube agents, right? YouTube real estate agents, right? You know, I call it short form, I call YouTube agents. Gloss over the risk. So let's be real, okay? When Tengah Gardens, right? Tengah Garden Residences, right? TOP around 2029 to 2030, okay? Listen, it will face direct rental competition from Copen Grand EC, 615 units reaching around 5-year MOP around the same time. Nova Place EC, 504 units also reaching around MOP concurrently. So that's around 1,100 ECs units, right, flooding the rental market at the same time as your 863 units, okay? Listen, for buyers, this is very important. But here's the Tengah Gardens, right, what we call the defensive mode. Here's why I'm not panicking lah. Number one, the commercial podium premium. This is actually an integrated mixed-use development with 3,000 square meters of actually retail dining, community spaces at your doorsteps. EC don't usually have this. Landlord here can justify command a 10 to 15% rental premium because of the corporate tenants overwhelmingly privatized like convenience, supermarket, like usually like downstairs, MRT next door, restaurant at ground level. Zero distance to MRT. The Hong Kah station is actually literally adjacent. So Copen Grand and Nova Place will require us 5 to 7 minutes walk every single day if you need to, commute. But yeah, Tengah Gardens no need. So in the rental markets, right, proximity is king. Rental yield projection. Based on the comparable, right, D22 mixed use development like Le Quest and Transit adjacent projects lah. We can see that one bedroom 3,200 to 3,500 per month. That's about 3.4% to 3.7% gross yield. Two bedroom 4,000 to 4,400 per month, 3.3% to 3.6% gross yield. Three bedroom 4,800 to 5,300 per month. That's a 3 to 3.3% gross yield. Four bedroom 5,500 to 6,200 per month. That's a 2.7 to 3.1% gross yield. So what are the target tenants? GID engineers, GLD professionals, NTU academics, and healthcare workers from Teng Fong Hospital. So the demand pipeline, right, is actually real lah. So here's where the demand story gets even more compelling. So look at the chart, right? 13,500 flats, right, are completing their like MOP in 2026 alone, up from just 8,000 in 2025. This number actually accelerates in like 21,000 by 2029. The exact year Tengah Gardens reaches like TOP. So this is actually not a coincidence. This is actually a demographic destiny. So peak MOP waves, right, equals to peak upgraders demand. 21,000 HDB families flush with cash from the BTO appreciation, looking for a brand new private condo. And where are like many of them like located? Right here in Tengah. So your future buyer pool, right, is literally being manufactured by the government. The supply risk I mentioned earlier is going to be overwhelmed by this wave of demand. Section 4, resale substitution test. So, new launch versus resale. Is the premium worth it? So this is actually my favorite test. Why? If a buyer can get a similar product in the resale market for significantly less, the new launch is in trouble. Versus new launch private condo in D22. Jayden, Jurong East, 2,475 to 2,510 PSF. Jayden benefit from an established commercial hub with J-Cube more like integration, right? But Tengah Gardens, right, offer an entry point that's like 400 to 500 PSF more affordable. As Tengah matures, right, the gap narrows. So that's your upside. Sora Lakeside, averaging around 2,200 to 2,298 PSF on land acquired. Okay, on land acquired at 1,023 PSF PPR. Tengah Gardens, right, is much lower. Land costs around 821 PSF PPR, passes the same savings to buyers. Similar product, better value. Lakeville at D22, resale at 1,800 to 2,000 PSF. TOP 2018 is a 99 years lease. Already like 8 years into its lease, right? Tengah Gardens, right, is at 2,006 PSF. Is at only a 20 to 25% premium for a brand new asset, direct MRT and a commercial podium. So that's justified. Now versus the EC gap. Copen Grand EC, okay, the resale is around like 1,608 PSF. Tengah Gardens represent a 600 to 700 premium. Nova Place EC selling at 1,300 to 1,460 PSF range. That's a 30% to 40% premium over premium for private over EC historically sound. So no 5 years MOP, immediate rental is allowed. No income ceiling, no income ceiling. Foreign buyers, is welcome. Okay, the premium is actually justified. Just the hidden catalyst that most analysts are underweighing. So data from the SRX, right, actually like the SRX Property Guru research actually shows that properties within 1 km of elite primary schools, right, commands around 12 to 17% price premium. So ACS Primary at Buckaroo, right, that's like a 13.3% premium. So now MOE has confirmed that ACS Primary, right, is relocating to Tengah by 2030. So that is like, you know, expanding from all boys school to a mixed school. So 11 primary 1 classes and also Tengah Gardens Residences fall within 1 km radius. So this is actually a price catalyst. So the market hasn't actually fully priced in yet. So when ACS opens in 2030, right, 1 year after TOP, right, expect a wave of parent buyers willing to actually pay emotional premiums for the 1 km address. So this alone adds like 10 to 15% to your resale exit price. So verdict, premium is justified, score 3 out of 4. Section 5, density and facilities. So land per family ratio, right, and the tennis court check, right. Site area 25,458 square meter. That's like 274,000 square feet plus minus. Total unit 863 units. Land per family is around 317 square feet per unit. So for reference, right, that's a decent for mass market project, not a luxury tier, but it's respectable. So facilities checklist, right? Let's do the what you call the tennis court check. Okay, 50-meter lap pool plus aqua terrace check. Tennis court check, pickleball court check, gymnasium check, second story, clubhouse with hobby check, reading room, cinema check, children's playground plus aqua farm pool check, BBQ area check, yoga lawn check, fitness station check, smart home check, AC control check. Facilities, I will give it out a 3 out of 3 full marks. So the standout is the smart home integration. So every unit comes with a Z-wave of like we call the smart gateway, digital lock set, smart AC control, lighting control, and even smart curtain, blind control. This is actually premium tier specs at the mass market pricing. So let me show you, right, in the full infrastructure timeline that makes Tengah Gardens location thesis, right, so compelling. Look at this like timeline. The JRL phase 1 goes operation in 2028 to 2029. So just before your unit TOPs, right, the ACS Primary School, right, should opens in 2030. JRL phase 2 completes by 2033. And the Lake Garden District, right, the Singapore largest business district outside of CBD, will create like, I think, 100,000 new jobs and also like 20,000 plus new homes. So every single catalyst, right, aligns with your holding period. Buy in 2025, TOP in 2029, JRL operational, ACS opens in 2030, And also peak MOP wave 2029 to 2030. So this is not accidental timing, no. This is actually what we call this strategic infrastructure convergence, okay, by the government. So the Jurong Region Line alone, right, has 24 stations across 3 phases, covering about 20 km. Tengah Plantation stations give you direct connection to Jurong East interchange, and also there's a triple MRT interchange connecting NSL, EWL, and also JRL, and the future HSR terminus from the KL to Singapore link, also at Jurong Lake District. Moving on, Section 6, Unit Mix and Quantum Threat. Identifying the quantum danger zones. Let's look at the unit mix. 1 bedder lah, 480 to 515 square feet. Only 6 units. Quantum, 1.11 million. Extremely limited lah. 2 bedroom, 610 to 750 square feet. 337 units. Quantum, around like 1.37 million. Gap to 3 bedrooms is around like 380k lah. So it's actually quite healthy. 3 bedrooms, 795 to 1030 square feet. 347 units. Quantum, about $1.75 million. Plus minus. Gap to 3 bedroom plus yard is a 300k difference. That is also healthy. 3 bedroom plus yard, 980 square feet to 1030 square feet. Quantum is about $2.08 million. Gap to 4 bedrooms around like 370k, which also is healthy. 4 bedroom is around 1,130 to 1,260 square feet for 173 units in the unit mix. Quantum around 2.45 million. So the golden rule for this launch, right? Okay. The good news is, right, the quantum gaps are all healthy across all types. No quantum traps here. The 2 bedroom to 3 bedroom jump is around 380k, and the 3 bedroom to 4 bedroom jump is around 370k. So both are well above the 200k safety threshold. The sweet spot, I would say the 3 bedroom standard at around like 1.75 million. So it stays safely below the 2 million psychological barrier range. So which is a magic number for achieving a lot of mass market, for the mass market HDB upgraders. This is actually your bread and butter exit play. So watch out also for the 4 bedroom premium, right, unit at 2.45 million plus minus. You are bumping against the ceiling where buyers can actually cross shop into older landed properties or larger resale condos in the D23. So slower liquidity line in a way. Section 7, the layout lab. GFA harmonization, right, is equal to your secret advantage. Okay. Tengah Garden Residences, right, is a direct beneficiary of the URA GFA harmonization mandate. So what does this mean in plain English? No more paying for dead space. Those oversized AC ledges, usable planter box, excessive wide curtain walls, right, all gone. Every square foot you pay for is livable square foot. So the dumbbell layouts for the 2 bedroom units, right, the architecture focus, right, is on the dumbbell layout. So the bedrooms are on the opposite sides of the living room, maximum privacy, 0 wasted corridor space. So this is actually the landlord's dream for co-living and tenant arrangement. Efficient squarish floor plates. I think the floor plates may appear smaller on the paper, but I think they are highly efficient. So no more bay windows, still spaces. All bedrooms can fit comfortably. Standard size bed. Wardrobes without awkward spatial compromise. So I give the layout utility score a 4 out of 5. Section 8, stacked walls. So some path, noise map, and what we call the view corridors. This is where your 100,000 right gets made or lost. So 2 units in the same development, same floor, different stack, 100k to 150k at resale. So here's my stack ranking. Top 3 stack. Number 1, blocks 11 and 13, northeast facing, high floors, overlook the expensive Tengah Pond and Promenade Park, waterfront plus greenery So in other words, so equal to the absolute, what I call the absolute premium view in this forest town concept. The highest resale desirability Also it's the best capital preservation also. Number 2, block 21 and stack 31. Interior, okay, 2 bed is a dumbbell unit So shoot from the PRE noise, okay, faces the internal pool and landscaping, perfect for investors targeting for co-living rental youth and also fast turnaround and high occupancy rate. Number 3, block 23, 4 bedroom unit is near the commercial podium. So multi-generational families play, right? Walk to shop MRT without leaving the compound. Living maximum convenience equal to long-term family anchoring. Okay, stack to avoid, right? southwest facing, stack on the perimeters, directly facing the Pan Island Expressway. Yeah, so traffic noise, heavy dust, vehicular dust, and all these like the logistic from the logistics truck. So don't know whether the acoustic glazing will help or not, but that doesn't eliminate the problems. Because and then balcony also become quite unusable because of the noise level also. So actually this is the number one exit risk at the resale. And also avoid west and northwest facing units. Singapore, hot sun, wow, really hammer down on these units. So higher AC bills, okay. What we see is actually it will take a slightly longer time to sell. Also, local buyers are very afraid of the sun. Remember, I said there's one stack most agents won't warn you about, right? It's actually the south perimeter facing PIE. Beautiful unblocked view, but the noise and dust will kill your resale. Okay, don't fall for the view trap. Okay, don't fall for the view trap. Repeat again. Now, once you have picked the right stack, right, let's talk about your rental returns. So this chart actually breaks down the estimated rental yield based on the comparable data from the Jurong East and Bukit Batok condos. So the 1-bedroom and 2-bedroom units delivers the best yield at 3.2% to 3.4%, comfortably above the CPF OA rate of 2.5%. Rental strategy. If you are buying purely for rental income, right, the 2-bedroom dumbbell at Block 21 offers the sweet spot, $3,400 per month. Estimated rent on a 1.27 million purchase is equivalent to like 3.21% on gross yield. So post GRL completion in 2029, right? With JLD jobs ramping up and also expect rental demand to increase significantly. And the 3-bedroom and 4-bedroom units, right, you lower at 2.55% to 2.75%. But that's compensated by strong capital appreciation potential due to actually like the HDB upgraders pool. So different investment theses, right? Different unit type. Section 9, the execution plan. Check submission and also fallback strategy. Here's how I will play this launch. Primary target, right? 3-bedroom standard, block 11 and 13. North facing, mid to high floor, around roughly 8 to 12 floor. Target quantum, 1.75 million to 1.85 million. But of course, we have to see what's the true indicative price. So we have to add on or minus on from there. So this is actually the sweet spot. So upon view, below 2 million, maximum exit liquidity, hopefully, to HDB upgraders. Fallback, 2 bedrooms, dumbbell, block 21, interior facing. Mid-floor, target quantum 1.35 to 1.45 million. Investor play, strong youth, strong rental youth, whole living layouts also shoot from the noise. Walk-away price above 2,100 PSF. So if the developer raises the price above the threshold, right, the resale substitution math, right, breaks down, pivot to resale alternative like the Lakeville or the Quest. The 4-year exit narrative. A 35-year-old Tengah HDB upgraders family, right, selling their 5-room BTO for 750k, for example, after MOP in 2029, taking a 1.2 million loan to buy by 1.8 million, like example, 3-bedder specifically for the 1 km ACS Primary School, right, radius. So the target exit, right, is in 2032 to 2033. So target ROI is 15 to 20%. So this is actually not a fantasy. That's actually a demographics meeting infrastructure, meeting school catchment. So the buyer literally doesn't exist yet, but the government is actually building that for you. So this is an example that next time you will have when you actually sell to your future buyers. The verdict, I will call it the conditional buy. Tengah Garden Residences is a strategic acquisition for buyers with a 5 to 8 years horizon. So the convergence of like the greenfield first mover advantage, right? Direct MRT integration, mixed use commercial podium, and also the ACS primary school relocation creates an exceptional what we call the investment thesis. So buy if you are targeting the 3-bed standard below $2 million for maximum exit liquidity. You secure a north to northeast facing stack away from the PIE. You have a 5+ years holding horizon. So post TOP 2030 to 2033. So if you believe in the Tengah master plan, right? Then you do this. So avoid if you need immediate like rental income. So TOP is like in 2029 to 2030. So if you are looking at the south, example, you are south facing perimeter stack, you are buying the 4-bedroom premium as a quick flip, not slow, as a quick flip, right? So if you need my help in analyzing a specific stack you need for your budget, you can drop me a message. Drop me a message or you can contact me in the description below. And of course, if you find this useful, right, smash the subscribe button. It's very helpful. I drop new property breakdowns every single week. And see you in the next video. Woo!